So hello and welcome to the Firestorm Squadron Firecast. This is game 3 of the night. It is the Battle of the Blogs. It is Dylan Jones facing off against Phil GC. The players have set up. They are in fact setting their dials. So we can get started nice and quickly. Do have to check. Our guest commentator will be joined shortly is Mr. Oliver Pocknell. Some of you may know who he is. He may have won a game or two. And might be the world champion. So we have some interesting lists which we will go through in just a minute. So I'll jump back into the call with the other guys. So guys, we are live. Okay, so we've got Tavern Wars in the chat. We've got Azagal saying Phil is back on screen. Yeah. Okay, and I will ring Ollie when he is ready to rejoin. Just letting him know. And I need to jump back into the player window. Okay, so let me just jump back into these, let them know you're live.
Yeah, I was not on the receiving end of pleasant times.
Hey guys, just letting you know you are live. So
Okay.
please.
Can we start playing?
Well, I was kind of just talking, but can you just let everyone know who set up first and what's been going on just while they're doing?
Okay, so I 200 points, and Dylan is at 198. So Dylan has given me the initiative. So that means my Inquisitor, my Grand Inquisitor, moves before his Lando and his dash. Then so that means I put the watch out first. Yeah. That covers everything that we've done so far, right? Anything else?
Nothing I can think of.
Okay.
Right.
Excellent. All right. Pon's there listening to you, so when you guys are ready, let him know and he can start the timer for you.
Well, I guess we start the timer since we're all set, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so my little Inquisitor.
Timer is going, guys. Good luck.
Oh.
Thank you.
I've muted myself, so that
I'll
should
be
help.
taking my housemates then up at any moment with the burger from the burger man for me.
Oh, why is that coming through?
Inquisitor's just going to go there, there.
No, I mean, I can't hear them at all now, which means the stream can't hear them. So bear with me a second. I will sort out some volume in a second.
Like, I know it's a better way of tracking stuff, and it's infinitely better than like,
Yeah, no, I know you can.
we had like extra things.
It's a lot. It's
Very low in the
When you
background.
get
It's not an
Luke
issue.
with like 13 tokens on him.
Yeah, I mean, this is
I
a
did-
really
I
interesting
did
map,
think
I think.
there's
The
there's got to be a
forward
way that it
versus
can be
the
programmed
double
that
pancakes.
you link a
Yeah, it's
token
fine.
to
Are
a
we live
ship,
now, by the way?
We are
and
leaving.
then when a ship
Yeah,
moves,
we're
the
live
tokens
and
just
they
move with it.
started off.
Awesome.
Or
So I mean, who
when you spend the
who do you think has the advantage here? Do you think either list has the advantage?
It just disappears. Oh,
I'm not entirely sure personally. I think I prefer
I'm messy.
Dylan's list, but flying may be Phil because I played Dylan round 1 in the Vagabond Open,
okay.
and of course Phil played a bunch of times, so I know
Well-
roughly how it is. But I think list-wise, I think I prefer Dylan. I think if he can delete an Inquisitor without losing too much in terms of shields on Lando or Dash, I think he'll be in a good place.
Yeah, I think especially with the big ships, it's an interesting onus, right? Because if you have a set of big ships that you've got flying into a game, at the point where you would lose a small ship, you still have half a ship remaining because you've paid those extra points for that big ship. So if you can leverage that point in the game where your opponent's lost a ship and you haven't, so you still have your full firepower, then I suppose you can come out on top. The disadvantage of that being, if you can't leverage that point, then you're already quite down in the case of what you've got. I suppose if you have a look at the list as well, it's not the double tap dash that we normally see because Dash's wingman's actually pretty good in himself. We've got a pretty effective and tanky Lando there, and I think the main thing for me that stands out here in terms of the rebel list is the combination of Jyn Erso on these two ships, because both Dash, Rendar, and Lando can take a focus and an evade token. So
Yeah.
if these guys are engaging at range 3, they're going to be pretty hard to kill, especially with 2 dice guns from the Inquisitors.
How is that in the voice now, guys?
Yeah, it's
All good.
perfect.
All good.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, you've actually had
Just
quite a
too
bit of experience flying a Falcon recently, Ollie.
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of work with Leia. I think Leia is the best Rebel Falcon. I think Lando. Shout out to Lando, he's good, but he's predictable. However, in this build, it's kind of like, so for those of you guys who remember way back in the midst of time, I think this is before you guys really started playing, sort of around wave 3, wave 4 era.
Long
Double
time ago,
pie.
mate.
Double pie was a thing. Like we're talking early 2015.
Yeah, I do
late-
remember that. So I started playing Tail in 2014, so I was around just about for that.
There we go. So yeah, we had the double Falcon. So you had Chewie, and you had I think it was Chewie and Lando, and they were just going around the board, getting stress tokens, but double modded every turn. They had a focus, they had an evade, and it was just really hard to kill them.
Yeah, it was.
Really hard to kill them. So, but I mean, we talked a bit about the Rebel list there. Lando and Dash, they get all of the actions in the world. They do what they like. Dash can even get a target lock from Lando if he needs to kill something.
Yeah.
But what about these Inquisitors?
Okay, so you've got Grand Inquisitor with passive sensors and the Magpulse warhead, which against Lando is going to be very useful. Fifth Brother, again, hate, passive, and home missile. Seventh Sister with hate, and a Inquisitor with sense. I'm not quite sure how much good sense will be in this particular matchup. I like it in the list. But again, Seventh Sister with hate, Fifth Brother with hate, that constant regen of the force, and of course with Fifth Brother, as we actually had in our previous game, the home missile trick, if you take the damage, you're getting a crit on top of that. So you're taking a hit crit. If not, it's a double modded 4 dice shot, so either way, it's going to stick something.
Yeah, it's gonna
I mean,
do some damage.
I do quite like this Imperialist. The one thing you will potentially struggle with is doing damage, but of course we all know that Inquisitors are really hard to damage themselves with evade and force being able to support them.
Yeah, I feel like in a bit of a weird turnaround here, it's the Imperials that are playing the long game. The Imperials want to chew down slowly, stay at long range, don't take any damage.
Yeah.
It's these rebel ships that actually are going to want to smash in, overwhelm the tokens of those Inquisitors. They need to get past the force.
Massively so.
I'm really curious, actually. There's a couple of things in the in Phil's list here that I think could be really pivotal to win. And actually, what he's just done there plays right into what I want to talk about, which is that sense. Because normally I don't like sense. I think sense is a overcosted upgrade. I think for 5 points. Once you get to a pretty decent level of play, you can make some decent guesses about where your opponent's going to be. And often I find that sense, you're just confirming what you already know.
Yeah. it's a bit
However,
redundant.
on a ship as mobile as that little Inquisitor, as long as he doesn't stress himself, if he does a 3 bank, he can be in an awful lot of places. And if he can get a block into Dash or into Lando, specifically Lando, because that ruins the list's action economy. But if he can get a block into Lando, then he is in a really, really good position to set up the rest of these Inquisitors to perform a kill shot. Because what that means is whoever you block, they are not getting those double tokens that round. And 2 dice guns really hurt a Falcon that doesn't have doubles token stacks.
Yep.
And as you can see here, Dash is in trouble. Next turn, it doesn't matter where he goes, he's getting blocked.
Yep.
All the Inquisitor needs to do is do a 3 forwards.
Yep, and it sits nicely there.
Yeah, picks
He's
up
getting
3 forward, takes the
punched in the
sense,
face.
and does everything.
Checking for Jin.
So,
Okay, yeah.
and however, here's something that just sprung into my brain.
Generously.
No, so Lando moves first, right?
Lando hasn't moved yet.
No, but think next turn.
Yeah.
What happens if Lando stays there, if he does a 1 forward next turn, and barrel rolls Dash
For the block.
before Dash moves?
Ooh,
That could be interesting.
that could be very interesting.
It's a get out of jail, and it's whether Phil sees that. I think actually Seventh Sister needs to block the barrel roll, and the Inquisitor needs to block the move.
But even saying that, even if he doesn't give him the barrel option, he can just go 1 forward, let him take
Double focus, yeah.
the focus evade if that's what he wants, and then he just bumps into a ship, produces 1 shot coming into him, still has that double token stack for defense. against the
Makes
other
a good-
3 shots.
Makes a very, very good point. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Yeah, he nudged Lando very slightly as well, accidentally. So
yeah,
that
you
might
undid
be.
No, you ended it.
So,
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I think. I'm not sure. It's a relatively good engage. I don't think much damage is going to come out this turn. Even though Dash has got a 4-dice shot, those Inquisitors, they're at range 3, they've got an evade, they've got a force.
Yeah.
Should be okay, and if he takes a shield at this point. I think.
And the Grand Inquisitor's a little far back, isn't he? Because Phil's spacing was not quite
No, he
right.
bumped, couldn't get the
and,
boost in.
He tried the boost, which failed, which meant the Inquisitor's a little bit further behind everyone else.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I like. Grand Inquisitor's fairly easy to catch up. I mean, he's not stressed. He can do a slightly faster move. Oh, that's in range. That's fun. So yep, in the Inquisitor bounces the damage there, doesn't take any. I think Phil just said, "I'll spend the evade."
Yes.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So that we then get inconsequential firepower coming in.
Correct. Yeah.
This is the setup turn. This one isn't important. Now we get into the meat and potatoes of the game.
The Seven Sister
I'm bringing out metaphors that. Yeah, this
So
is
Seventh
fine.
Sister's got a nice little shot here
You
as well.
like a good metaphor.
I do like a good metaphor.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh wow!
Oh, crack shot.
Oh no,
crack
he's,
shot?
he's
He
alright.
does not
No.
have crack shot.
He does.
It's
He's Seventh Sister.
He just
But I
spends
don't
both
think
the
he.
force.
I don't think.
Oh no,
spent
no,
it.
he's cancelling the dice to spend
Oh,
2-4. Sorry.
he is. Yes, no, that's
He
fair
is.
enough. So he spends the evade. Seventh Sister sends the crack shot. I honestly, I would have saved the force there.
Does that happen
I
after
think-
the
Sure, it worked.
defense dice are rolled as well?
Yeah, it's just right at the
Wow.
end.
Jeez. Okay.
When you perform an attack, yeah, it's just before the neutralize result step.
Right. Okay.
You
So
may
after
spend.
defense dice
Oh
are rolled.
no, that's important. I think you need to call him out on that. Before the neutralize result step, you may spend 2 force to cancel an evade result. So,
Yeah, so
when
he's
does the
he's
evade get added?
It is part of the green dice roll, the defensive dice roll before the
Yeah, it's
neutralize
defense
results.
modification.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. That's okay.
So yeah,
It's-
it's basically
old
like
crack shot.
perma crack shot
Yeah,
as long
But
as it's got
he's-
the 2 force.
he's gotta spend 2 force
but
to
it
do
doesn't
it.
need the bullseye.
I feel like Seventh Sister is going to get hit hard next turn though. She's on the outside. Lando's going to shoot her.
Yeah.
Dash is probably going to have a good shot. Mm.
Yeah, she probably just gets that evade and keeps the force for defensive purposes.
So do we
If required.
see the Lando move up barrel roll dash? I think we do.
I think we've got to see something similar. The only reason that I don't think you'd see that is if Lando wants to get a good
Who's
flank
got
on this
sense
turn.
again?
Sense is on the
On the
front
Inquisitor.
sister, so he's in range.
Oh, okay.
He
I was
can
thinking
do
not-
only dash,
The
not
Grand
Lando.
Just the regular Inquisitor. Okay, that's fine.
I think the issue, yeah. So
And he-
Dash is
he
doing the
just
3
sensed
bank.
it, and he's got the 3 bank there.
So Phil probably boosts here. No, he should have done the 3 forward. There was better blocking options.
Yeah.
Although no, if he'd have done the 3, he wouldn't have been able to block the hard 3. So that's fair. Yeah. So he's blocked the 3 bank, and I think importantly, he's also blocked the barrel roll and the 3 bank, or he will do once all the rest of his ships are moved.
Yeah.
So now the question is, has Lando gone for the hard 2 to flank, or has Lando gone for the probably a 3 forwards here to get around the edge of that asteroid? And
You see, if it was me, I think I would be doing the 2 hard heads to try and get Lando in behind them, and
Yeah.
go, okay, Dash is going to take some shots this turn, but we'll take it on the chin.
yeah,
Push
I
some
think
damage out in
you
the turn.
you accept the damage that you take on Dash this turn. He's not going to die in a round, but it gets Lando in a really good position.
It depends on how tied in Dylan is to that Lando trigger to pump dash up.
Yeah,
That can
it's
certainly be a bias sometimes when you're used to going, oh, well, I just pump dash all the time.
so.
Yeah.
I feel like this would be a good time to bring up blogs as we are watching a game
Absolutely.
of opposing blogsmiths. It's something that Phil mentioned on his blog, that in the Vagabond Open, when you're not flying these lists regularly, you get sucked into the gimmick that you've made. So the gimmick, obviously, in this list is I can use Lando to buff either. There we go. I can use Lando to buff either of my ships. And what he's done with that is he's actually put Lando in a really weak position for next turn.
Yeah.
because Lando really has to bank. So
Yes.
if he does a 1 forwards, he's screwed the turn after. If he does a bank, he might actually end up landing on the rock when he gets blocked.
Yep.
So it's a tricky situation here. Because I feel like Seventh Sister can very easily block Lando next turn. But
So
We'll
he
see.
is barrel rolling dash.
okay, he's doing it. I don't think that gets him anything.
Well, I think it's because he wants to kind of bump into
So that means
fifth
it's shot by
brother.
2 instead of 3.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think he's literally doing it just to reduce the incoming shot.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I think that because if Lando's going to go there, you need to use him wisely, right? You're not going to do much damage to Seventh Sister with a single shot, so get the bonus damage. Seventh Sister can't she can't crack shot you this turn, so actually she's a lot less scary.
Yeah.
I think that was where I would have wanted the 2 force, because if she comes in, takes a focus with 2 force, she's a massive threat for doing a
Yeah.
decent amount of damage. Lando target locks because he can. So has he got the outrider? So the barrel roll is white.
I
Oh,
believe
he's got
he
expert handling, so the barrel roll is white. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my other concern. If he was doing the barrel roll and getting himself stressed there, that'd be a really bad.
Yeah, so
position.
it's Dash with Expert, Perceptive, and Shield, and Lando with Neonum, Jin Erso, and Titan.
Oh, that's bad.
That's bumped in the wrong place.
It's bumped the other Inquisitor.
Yep.
Oof. Did he roll forwards? No, he did go backwards. He did go
Did
backwards.
get
Okay.
backwards, yeah.
So that didn't quite get him what he wanted.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's a
'cause
shame
he-
there,
he was
Dylan.
definitely doing that to try and bump into fifth brother and reduce another shot coming into it.
Definitely. I mean, Dylan doing all the right things there, I think. Took some good decisions. Unfortunately, with sense, got the block set up pretty well.
He says, "Oh, a Magpulse Warhead going in."
Yep.
Yep.
I'm not sure I would use the Magpulse
I'm not sure I'd
this
use it at
time,
this point, no.
because there's nothing that you jam off really,
No.
and
It's a reduction in firepower, so maybe he's worried about Seventh Sister taking damage.
maybe.
I mean, honestly, I'd take the target lock focus shot at range 1,
Yeah, I think that's what I would have done.
and then add the bonus crit. Is
No,
that?
one shield.
Oh, that's that Grand Inquisitor.
No, that's coming from Grand
No.
Crisper.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so he spent a Magpulse.
Yep.
I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of
Yeah,
it.
again, I think Phil's falling into his own trap. I said it about Lando. I'm now.
Yeah,
We can
I'm
blame-
not
we can blame
sure
Phil for
that the
doing the same thing.
Magpulse was the right choice at that point.
Yeah. Just because you've got toys doesn't mean you need to spend them.
It's because he wants to set up the Seventh Sister range 1 shot, or fifth brother range 1 shot.
Yes, but he had that anyway.
But if the
He-
entire list is the whole predicated on outlasting his opponent, is that not the right call?
I mean,
Maybe.
he's doing it literally so it reduces the dice going in Seventh Sister, right?
I mean,
Because
it-
now Seventh Sister is
Yeah.
only going to get shot by a 2 dice gun.
It basically means that Lando is the only threat this turn, which means that Seventh Sister doesn't take any damage. There is the possibility of both Dash rolling a lucky 3 hits and Lando getting 3 hits, and Seventh Sister maybe takes a shield or 2 here, which, as you say, is bad. And whilst he has a really good position, you might as well leverage that.
Dash just roll too many dice.
Yes, he did.
He
It
did
didn't
roll
matter,
too many
but
dice.
he
It
did.
didn't matter, so we won't
Yeah.
call it out.
That's fine.
But
I was just hoping I remembered what the YT2400 did correctly.
yeah, yep. It's we'll remind him of it if it's important.
Yes.
Actually, and to be fair, the reason I do like the Magpulse this turn is the Magpulse has 2 charges. He didn't spend one last turn, no. He spent the Force on Grand Inquisitor to shoot at long range, I believe, but didn't spend the
Okay,
Magpulse.
so the interesting point is on
Sorry.
the overlay, Magpulse only has the 1 charge. There
Oh,
is
that's
no
fun.
2 charge, so.
Interesting.
You can
That's
just
fine.
add it manually.
It definitely has 2.
So turns out maybe Phil isn't crazy. If you consider Dash's blue moves and where he's going next turn, he doesn't have much opportunity to clear that deplete.
To plate. But it clears as soon as he fires.
Oh no, sorry, he
It's
should
already
have
got-
cleared it when he fires. So yeah, I use deplete on a regular basis as well. I should know,
It's already
about this. It's fine. I'm just a scrub.
So
It's fine.
he's spent the force to take 2 more shields off of
Yeah, so Dash is now down to
Dash.
1 shield.
Yep, absolutely the correct decision. And
yeah, Seventh Sister not having the 2 force. He just declines to
yeah,
declines anything. And
I think
saves it
so.
for next turn, which I think is sensible.
unfortunate but not terrible. I mean, Dash takes 3 shields there.
Yes, 'cause he's down to 1 now.
Yeah, he's got 1
Yeah.
shield left.
I still feel like it was a better decision to shoot primary weapons with all 3. But
Yeah, I mean, I understand why he went for the Magpulse to make sure that with Fifth Brother he could push through the crit, but I still am not a fan of the decision.
No, because I mean, if that had been just the Grand Inquisitor firing normally,
Hmm.
he would only have 1 force this turn rather than 2, but he would have pushed an extra damage through, and Dash would currently have no
shields.
shields,
Yep, Dash.
and you'd still have the Mag Pulse for later, which guarantees those crits going in.
Yeah,
Oh,
as you
yeah,
said,
yeah,
Ollie,
big
is
bases.
falling into his own trap.
Seems it. Well, he keeps on writing blogs about it, so eventually he'll remember.
Do you think do the Imperials just all turn on Lando now and let Dash run away for a minute? Because getting turned around to get onto Dash is going to be quite difficult this turn, but that of course gives Dash free reign.
Yeah, I mean,
It is.
definitely is difficult for 2 ships.
My worry would be, because the problem is that realistically it's only Fifth Brother and the Grand Inquisitor that can turn in on Dash.
Yeah.
But if you don't, then you let Dash get behind you, which is never a good call.
It's never a good thing.
So it's hard to do here. I think Dylan has more or less managed to get away with. I mean, it's honestly, I think he got lucky to only take 3 damage.
Yep.
That could have been an awful lot worse. Dash could have gone down to around 3 or 4 health remaining there if he'd have got unlucky with his shots. So, yeah, it's not terrible for him. I think he's ended up with a good position. He's got through the block, but the question is now, Lando is going to be taking some heat next turn.
Yeah, Lando's in a really tough place to try and get away at this moment as well.
For sure. And
While I'm in this quiet lull, sorry, I just do want to say Twitch have given us a bit of a payment out from all the subscriptions we've had over the while, so thank you everybody who has subscribed and followed and done all those various things over the last little while. It's definitely worthwhile for us, so thank you so much for that.
look at that.
Mention that.
Look at that.
And when all of this world closing is out of the way, we're definitely going to be back up to the getting to some events to stream some real life X-Wing for
And
everyone.
I get to say,
As I-
I had to hand salute to you, Ollie. Aha.
Well,
Get to say it
you
first.
know, as I don't use my Amazon Prime subscription enough, instead of giving it to Gold
Thank you.
Squadron, let's give it to someone in the local community. There we go.
That's awesome. Thank you very much.
Hey, no problems. No problems. Right then. So here we go. Now I'm calling it that Seventh Sister is going to do the blocking this turn. Fifth Brother, I think, is going to crash and stay where he is.
I think it barreled down here.
Yep, we've seen
the
sensors being used once again. Lando has revealed the 1 bank, so Seventh Sister now blocks him onto a rock, like so.
Ooh,
I
does
don't
it
think
though?
that ends on the rock.
I think it lands the rock.
It's close. It's very close.
No, the
definitely
line of the
close.
dial, the line of the ship, I think, is just outside.
Ooh, very nice.
That was very well done.
Wow.
I reckon Phil had a little bit of the brown trousers moment when he saw exactly where that Inquisitor landed.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely right. Let's see where we go.
I'd like to give you access
Yeah,
to our
we-
emojis, Ollie, as well. Just realised. Our emotes.
Oh, I can spam Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you shouldn't have told me this. You
with
should have told me this.
flaming Death Stars.
Indeed.
Yeah. You see, you shouldn't have told me. Right. It wouldn't be Twitch chat unless someone was spamming.
Oh, it does clip.
You know, I
Oh, it does.
purposely.
I was way off the spot.
What can I say except you're welcome? Oh God. Oh, it's a Friday evening. It's been a long week. Oh, and he takes a hit as well.
Oh.
Lando's very sad. Do you know why he's even sadder? Look who has a target lock on him.
The home missile.
Yeah. So basically, what's going to happen is Grand Inquisitor's going to shoot him, and he's going to take off some shields. And if he gets lucky, he's going to take off 3 shields. If he takes off 3 shields, Lando is eating crits because he
Yes,
has to take a hit in a crit.
Doesn't
can't-
Fifth Brother
He only,
only have one force?
no, he has 2.
No, Fifth Brother has 2
top
right now.
left of Fifth
Yep.
Brother.
Yeah, but didn't he spend them both last turn to add the crit against Dash?
His hate.
Yeah, but he didn't take a damage.
Oh, it's true.
He hasn't taken a damage.
That needs to be corrected.
Let's check the chat. And also, yeah, we do need to check that. So just pop in and ask him.
Pond.
No, Dash is going to fire at
Yep.
Grand Inquisitor.
There was one thing.
I'm going to check.
That is important.
Sorry, guys, just a quick question. Did Fifth Brother spend both his force last turn to add a crit?
Oh, that was 2 turns ago. Wasn't it?
Okay.
That was last time with the my question. Yeah.
Cool, thank you. Start menu tokens. Hard to track.
There we go. That's important
Okay, cool.
because otherwise that would have been a pretty big
So, yeah,
smash into Lando. I mean, he's still in a really bad space. He has no escape clause this turn.
So range 2, 3.
Right. I mean, who do you shoot here?
4.
I think
Grand
he's got
Inquisitor is a
Grand Inquisitor,
trap. No, he's a trap. I think you shoot Fifth Brother.
He's gone for him though.
but I think he's. Ooh,
I mean, that'll do.
That will do.
that's it.
Oh, that'll definitely do.
That'll
Two
do,
shields and a
pig.
crit into Grand
2
Inquisitor.
shields and a crit. Jeez.
Oof.
If anyone can take it though, Grand Inky is actually the ship that you want to be taking that damage right now.
Yeah.
Blinded.
Blinded pilot.
That's fine. That is fine.
Irrelevant.
Oh, yeah, it's a little bit. Most of
little
the time
bit
now
relevant.
he's going to be taking evades, so.
Lando shot. on the
I think what that means is that the Grand Inquisitor is the one that blocks Lando this turn coming.
Yeah.
3 hard
You-
from Grand
you,
Inky.
you use him to block that.
Yeah. I think the basic Inquisitor just stays still.
And Fifth Brother's got the range 1 shot, so no home missile anyway.
Loves it. Reroll with the target lock. There we go.
Yeah,
Spend the force.
nice.
And the force.
Lat.
And
Well,
takes
that
2
is-
shields and
That
puts
is
a
a
crit through.
sad falcon. Yeah, this. I just did a. Are you guys alright if I shout out my own stream?
Oh, of
on
course,
YouTube?
absolutely.
Go for it.
So I just did last night my my second of my
Oh,
Top Gun
that's a whole
series.
break. Sorry, that is
Oh, God.
disgusting. Crit on Lando.
Here we go. This is it, boys. Here comes the chain. So I'll talk about this in a second because this could be good. That's 2 hits.
Yeah, it spends the focus
That's
for
2
2 hits.
hits.
Right, what happened?
Right. What do we reckon? What nastiness is going to come out of this?
And it was range.
Could be
Range
anything.
Oh,
Now, a
oh,
damaged
oh,
engine at this
oh.
moment in time would make Lando sad.
Oh, we got that's big. That's important. Getting an evade
That
there
is.
is.
So it's just the
huge.
1 crit coming in.
Yeah, I mean the problem is that
Weapons
failure.
failure.
I mean Lando's roasted here. I can't see him moving anywhere next turn to clear that, and he's gonna have shots coming in.
Yeah.
The whole breach is horrible.
Yeah.
Now
Your channel.
what I was gonna say
Back to your new video.
is
Yes.
so I released last night, and it's gonna go up on YouTube soon, because I need to. Annoyingly, I forgot to. I've just reinstalled everything on my computer, and the auto record isn't set up, so it's on Twitch right now, but it isn't on YouTube. But I have my obstacles Top Gun video, like letting you know about turn 0, how to do obstacles, how to do deployments, all of that jazz. And something that I didn't really cover in there is flying with big ships, because you're not seeing many of them at the moment. But what I would describe as the anti-big ship rock is putting them 2 and 2 in the corner, because big ships love coming around the corner, and especially this Lando. He loves just banking around the table. And what I don't know who put that rock there, but what that rock does is it meant that Lando had to go into the corner, fully into the corner, and he had almost no options, which is why he ended up getting
I think
blocked
it was
there.
Phil that put that one there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
it was.
And
It was
that
a
is-
good decision.
Yeah, I mean, I fly a large base an awful lot, and I know you don't want them 2-2 because they do like to come around the corner. I do like to sit exactly as you said, right there, and it's
Yep.
not a pretty place.
No, and it really, like, putting a big ship in a corner is exactly what you want to do against him. It makes him predictable, and if you are flying multiple small ships, especially with sense, it means you can get these wonderful, wonderful blocks.
Yep.
So Dylan's obviously getting peppered a little bit here. So how's he going to get out of this hole? What's he going to do?
Dash needs to come behind somehow. He knows that Lando's going to get blocked. There's almost nothing he can do about it. Dash needs to come back into the left-hand side of the board and get some guns on somewhere. If he can take out the Inquisitor, at least he'll have some sort of shot, but it's not going to be
Yep.
an easy one.
Well, I think because Dash, if anyone's going to have the firepower to take out some of these Inquisitors, Dash can do it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So if Lando can, it doesn't matter where he goes, if he can get a shot this turn into something, or if he can escape, then I think Dylan's doing okay because Grand Inquisitor is bleeding. If you can get him down this turn, which is like viable, Dash doing another Dash thing could kill him.
Yeah.
So then it's 3-on-2. And as I was saying with these big ships, Lando's hurt, but he's not dead.
No. In terms of Lando, though, what do you do? I mean, you know that he's going to get blocked, but what move do you dial in to have the least impact from being blocked?
So I think what you have to do first is you have to work out where those Inquisitors are going. So if I was flying the Inquisitors, I would be doing, what are we looking at? Seventh Sister, Talon Roll, to the right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fifth Brother, 4K.
Yeah.
I think the Little Inquisitor, I would love to get him to stay still, but I don't think you can. So I think the littlest Inquisitor actually does a hard one down to the left and evades.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
the Grand Inquisitor comes in and plays speed bump this turn. It means you're only getting 2 shots on Lando from 7th and 5th, but it means that the Grand Inquisitor has a much larger chance of surviving, and it also opens up the what's his face, the little guy, to try and get advanced blocking on Dash for next turn.
Yeah.
Now, knowing that, I think I would actually go straight forwards with Lando, say 2 forwards, right towards the board edge and get a curvy boost in there. Alternatively, I would pull a 2 hard to the right and hope that Phil has overcommitted to a long bank, and he has managed to keep him still.
Yeah, I
There we
figured
go.
that's okay. I didn't think
Yeah.
one hard was fair.
One hard straight up would.
So he's sensed him. Lando's gone for a 3 bank, which is exactly where I would put. Yeah, basically that's why I would have 1-harded the guy the other way. It still blocks the 3 bank. Someone has to do it. Because he needs-
Seventh Sister went for the
One hard,
hard.
not going for the town.
Okay.
Tavern Wars, by the way, in the chat has got a little bit of a flex with his tier 2 emote.
Oh. Hey.
He
So
wants to
this-
keep, he wants
so-
to keep Lando
so-
on the rock.
I'm
this
not
has
going to be.
been
Oh
just
no,
trying to keep
no.
Lando on the rock and put more shots into him.
Yep. That's a fair play if he keeps Lando on the rock. Although why is Grand Inky there?
He wants to get away from Dash, and that's what Phil's thinking.
Yeah, but he's not going to get a shot. There's only one
won't get a
ship
shot
that
that
is.
time.
No, there's 2 ship shooting.
Yeah,
2 ship
And
shooting.
if that 3 bank is shallow enough,
No, it is.
It's a-
It stays on the rock. He stays on the rock this
no,
time.
yeah, the more I look at it, the more I agree. Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like 2 ship shooting is fine.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
2 shots going into it. I mean, he doesn't have great mods this turn, but the Inquisitor's got target lock, and Fist Brother has a single force.
Yeah. Actually, no. I do know why Grand Inquisitor is there this turn. He had to do something to block the hard 2 and the hard 3.
Yeah.
Just in case Lando wanted to escape. So what Phil has done there is you can tell that Phil plays way too much Guri because he's planned for all eventualities. He knows all of the options that Falcon can take, all of the good moves and some of the bad ones, and he's covered every single one.
Yeah.
Now the question is, what is Dylan going to do to make him pay for it?
I think he's going to try and take out Grand
He's going to
Inquisitor.
try
I
and
think.
kill the Grand Inquisitor. I
Yeah.
guess.
No, hang on, sorry.
Because Dash
It'll
basically
be-
has free reign right now until Lando
Yeah.
dies.
So it'll be 4 dice against 3.
Yeah.
He's got the 2 force and the evade. So it's just whether he gets perfect paint, right?
Makes sense. Shall we take bets? How many turns is it going to take for Lando to die? 1 or 2?
2.
Yeah, I'd be surprised who dies this turn.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna say
Put-
1.
I feel like I kind of want to back 1. I feel like we're gonna get a horrendous chain, but
The whole breach
the
is
little
fine, I
guy-
think 1.
Oh, that's true with the whole breach. It definitely could go down in this
do
turn.
you? I
I've forgotten
think.
about that whole breach.
See, does Dash shoot the little Inquisitor here? Grand Inquisitor's got an evade. That little Inquisitor has no tokens.
Mm.
I
It would
think
be range 3.
I
He's
think
clocked it.
you-
He's just clocked it.
It'd be
I
4
think
with
he
a
goes
focus
for
token
baby-
versus
for
4
baby and
with
key.
nothing.
because Grand Inquisitor has 2 force and evade. Like
Yeah,
you're,
And he's
you
got
might
no
get
shots
2-3.
this turn or anything.
I think you do 2 damage to the baby Inquisitor because next turn you can initiative kill him.
Ooh, I'll do.
Good start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you know.
Oh, he did go for Grand. Yeah, Grand is safe. Grand doesn't care. You need 4 hits to do anything to that Grand Inquisitor right now.
Spends
Whereas-
a full fan of the
What was that? Focus, focus, evade. Yeah, that would have been half health on the little guy.
It would have been
Yeah.
yeah. 1 hit only from Fifth Brother, but it goes through, which is a crit
Which
because
is
of
a
the whole
crit.
breach.
Does go through.
And that is crit, isn't it?
More crits, more crits.
Weapons failure.
Weapons failure.
Second
Oh,
weapon
God.
failure.
If he ever does shoot, he ain't gonna be shooting well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lando's out of this game, but he is a big fat distraction that you can't really ignore because with 2 hours of turn he could clear those crits fairly quickly.
Oh, he's nudged the ship slightly.
Yes, that's shit.
Oof, Phil.
I don't think it's gonna matter. Oh, might do.
He's got a target lock.
Oh, you absolutely spend it in this position.
I
Get-
think he's forgotten
Get
about
more
it.
get more crits onto him.
Yeah, I think he's forgotten about it
think
because
he's
he's gone back to regen and force
Yeah.
for the new turn.
Although
So this
That's
is
May. Can't remind him about that one.
yeah, but
this
they
is
do need to
something-
put Dash as a Lando back because he is now.
yeah,
Size
like
right now.
get them to undo that a couple of times.
Yeah, guys, you might want to hit undo a few times because Lando has been pushed back quite significantly from the Sun system.
I'll start sticking it through. Phil, can you tell me when to stop?
Sure.
You'll see him move.
Far back.
Stop.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So I think what a good example of that is someone tilting themselves because they only got a single hit out of 5 dice.
Yeah.
And therefore forgetting the fact that they had that mod that would have made their dice better.
Yeah, I agree. And that happens, doesn't it? When something's not
Oh, yeah.
quite gone as you expect, people definitely get tilted.
Another
Oh, for
3
sure.
bank for Lando.
And that's what people are trying to. That's what people have to try and work towards getting used to, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
for
you
sure.
do it against
It
me all
doesn't
the
go
time
your
because you just roll up the dice.
You've got to keep playing through. Yeah, but I mean, we keep going. Everyone's just aware with how stupid your dice are. Now. We have many video recordings of you doing slightly daft things and then not caring as you roll your way out of it.
And I had a game the other day which wasn't streamed, but I thought Pond was talking to me just about the game, and I said, "Oh, I think I'm out of it." And he said, "No, you got this." I said, "What game is he watching?" And it turned out when I kept playing and kept getting into it, my opponent managed to put Leia into a corner where actually Jake was able to block Leia off the board,
With a hard 2, yeah.
and I won the game.
So
They're trying to keep
Asgal, Phil actually feels quite a lot of tilt on dice. He just tries very hard to
Not show it.
suppress it.
Hmm.
He notices dice quite a lot. So I'd also say that I've got a bit of an issue with dice. It's something that I'm going to do a. I'd like to get Phil on actually to do it. I was hoping to get him on for the obstacle one, but the times didn't match up. But basically, when you're not getting those dice you expect, it feels hard. But I feel like we talked about this earlier. There's definitely some confirmation bias. So using the Firecast as an example, you guys talk a lot about dice.
Yep.
Yep.
And because you've talked about dice a lot in the past, you're so aware of them that whenever there is that one dice roll that doesn't go, you'll notice it, you'll mention it. And it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy because at some point in a game there is going to be a bad dice roll.
Yes.
And there's going to be a good dice roll as well. And
Yeah.
if you're paying all of the attention to that, then it can throw you off. So a thing. I don't know. I always try and think about. Oh, what about the next one, if you can.
Yeah,
So like,
and
okay,
I mean-
that one went badly, but what about the next one?
So in just over a year, I have had a bit more success in terms of X-wing than I had been having previously,
Hmm.
and part of that has been around putting a lot of effort into positioning, turn zero, and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
Also, part of it, especially at events, is forcing myself, especially when things aren't quite going right, and when I'm noticing dice not quite going as is. I try to, because I know I'm going to notice it. I just know that that's kind of the person I am. I know that I'm going to notice it, so I'm just like, all right, that didn't quite go to plan. Never mind, we'll carry on. Try again next time.
I like
And
it.
that's helped a lot, especially with pushing through on games. And if anyone watched the game I played earlier this week in our team event where I used droids versus Boba Koshka,
Koshka.
that thing happened then. So again, right at the start, wasn't quite pushing the damage through, was noticeable, but I just went, don't worry, just keep going. We'll see what happens. And the droids pulled out the win in the end. So you just keep grinding it back, and you've always got that chance.
So what is really, really interesting here? So this turn, Phil has pulled out the big play. He sensed Dash and not Lando. He then Leroyed that little Inquisitor through bank and boost all the way over the top and has blocked the one forward from Dash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what he's also done is he's guessing Lando's going to go over there, and he's blocked the 3 bank from Lando, which means that there is no way that Lando can get a barrel roll off of Dash.
Nope. Also
Dash-
means that Fifth's going to have a nice shot straight into Lando, with
Yep.
Lando not being able to clear that whole bridge.
Exactly. Lando's basically useless right now, apart from coordinating. I really like this turn from Phil. He's gone, okay, what's the threat here? The threat is absolutely Dash. I can now get onto him. Lando is no longer a threat because of those 2 weapons failures, so immediately he switches targets. There's still something killing Dash. Like, Fifth Brother is going to slowly chase Lando, until he dies. But yeah, now is the time that you start to put the pressure onto Dash and chew him down.
Yep, that's great.
Big day.
You watched that one dice hit that Inquisitor and put damage through.
If that's the case, he'll regret not shooting him with Dash.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. What did Seventh Sister do as an action here?
Yeah, of course.
She barreled.
Fair enough. I'm surprised she doesn't have a token.
She's having an evade because they forgot.
Oh,
But he's
there
been
we
into
go.
it.
Let's just check things.
Sorted. Maybe Lando landed on it.
Maybe. I mean,
Pun
I
not
think he
intended.
goes after Grand Inquisitor here. I think he wants to try and get points.
Absolutely not. There is, again, there's no way you hit him.
No,
first thing you
I would
do
go
is
for
you-
Fifth Brother.
You reduce incoming firepower. So I think if Fifth is there, then he's an okay shot because, again, reducing the focus is great. Or you shoot Seventh Sister and hope that she has to spend the force.
Which he didn't.
Nope, which she doesn't. But hey, it is what it is.
Boom!
The powerful one dice P shooter does nothing.
I mean, he tried.
He did, yeah.
He did.
Bless him. Oh, poor Lando.
Oh,
Range 1 shot from Fifth
But
Brother.
you know the scene in Empire when 3PO
Oh,
is
God.
literally in war.
oh,
There you go.
This is-
we're doomed.
This is what's going on right now. Like, it's not my fault.
Really
It's not my fault. They told me they fixed it.
Yeah,
Everything's on
Exactly.
fire.
exactly.
So he gets a panic pilot to start with.
Oh god. So, well, Lando is never taking actions ever again. He wasn't
That's only
able
the
to
first
shoot.
crit. You still got 2 more to
And
take.
this is it, right?
Yeah.
So, as we were talking about dice just a second ago, last turn didn't go well for him. He got the 1 hit, maybe a little bit down by that. This turn just rolls the natural straight out of it. and
Fuel
makes
leak,
a big
and that's
deal.
gonna kill him.
Oh boy. So,
No, I'd be left on 1, wouldn't he?
Yeah, true. This is a damage sensor, eh?
well, just to double down on the fact that he can't take actions, he really can't take actions.
And the last crit is,
Oh god, because it's face up as well.
yeah, because of the whole breach.
Straight.
It is which kills him.
Oh,
The chain is real.
Oh, there it is.
Watch that
There it
crit
is.
chain.
Yeah, to be fair, that is over 2 turns. That's the expected damage.
Yeah, that's what we said,
However,
right?
it was phenomenal.
Wow.
Oh man.
Boom.
Jeez.
Right. And this is, I think now you're experiencing the power of this fully armed and operational Inquisitor group. These, these things are such good control pieces, and I think it's actually something that has gone under the radar a little bit in terms of points changes. And I'm hoping that FFG notices just how cheap the Inquisitors are for what they do.
Yeah.
Again, it's linked to force points. Force points are ridiculous, but yeah, Lando couldn't really do much there. 2 turns in a row of getting sensed and then blocked into an asteroid. The actual mistake was the one forwards. I know Nick
Yeah.
was saying he would have done the hard 2. That was exactly why. If we go back to when he put himself in the corner, at least Dash is dodging things. I mean, this game isn't over. But it's
That's
very
the big thing,
hard.
right? As we were saying, if Lando had done that too hard then and been behind all the Inquisitors, he wouldn't be in the position of getting
Losing
blocked in that corner, losing Lando. He would have been able to come in, Dash could have gone over, supported it, and you still would have had those 2 big guns chipping away.
Yeah, and with 16 minutes and 2 turns as well, it's not an awful lot of time for Dash to get those chips in.
Well, Fifth
No,
Brother and
not at
Seventh
all.
Sister are both in a good position to just turn where Dash is most likely to be.
Yeah.
Just hard turn down.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it isn't a terrible decision for Dash just to go forwards here.
I
Or
mean,
broadside something.
does Fifth Brother do the one hard down and fire the Magpulse warheads?
Absolutely.
Fifth Brother doesn't have Magpulse Warhead.
But it's
It's
the
the Grand
Grand
Duke.
Inquisitor that does.
Yes, the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah,
For
No,
me,
the
Dash
next-
turns down the board here to try and get distance.
Yeah, he just.
barrel
The
away.
problem is he can't afford to. He's got 16 minutes.
He doesn't have time. But the problem is almost if he's got to be doing a significant forward maneuver if that little Inquisitor is going to not have the chance to block him.
The Little Inquisitor's going to go 1 hard, right? So
He's gonna
if he
one hard
goes
and can
1
barrel
forward
block
or
it.
2 forwards or 1
He
bank
doesn't
or
need to
2
spend the
banks.
force to do that.
No,
No, he doesn't.
In fact,
but he's doing hard 3 to the left as Nick said. It's a good move. The problem is that gets blocked.
It can do.
Well, the Inky just does a hard 1 and a boost.
Yeah.
Look at that. Whee! What?
Oh,
I think he hit the wrong hotkey.
he did.
Please tell me he hit the wrong hotkey.
He did.
yes.
There you go, the one forward. I mean, he should have a force guard because he wasn't required to spend it because of sense because he was at the range 1, but it's not going to make a difference
No.
if they've noticed. So.
Yeah, I just flipped it.
Yeah, this is. I mean, he's not getting shot. It doesn't matter.
No.
Oh boy. Yeah, this is. Good night, sweet prince.
And that's it. With that hard 1 and that position from that Inquisitor, he can block almost anything Lando's going to do.
Yep.
Dash is going to do.
In that direction, yeah.
I think you boost here because, or you no, I think you barrel roll. If you barrel roll, then Dash doesn't get a shot at you.
He went for the target lock with the Seventh Sister.
Fair.
Yeah, cheers.
I feel like it's
You're
a
late.
bit of a risk. Hey, Martin.
And I guess he's done it because he's got those 2 force charges and he's got the ability to crack shot if he wants. And
True.
with the 3 hard, I think he's assuming that with the angle, Dash isn't going to have a shot on Seventh Sister anyway.
It's pretty close. I mean, this is essentially a damage race at this point, right?
Yeah.
And next turn, he's going to be catching a Magpulse missile, so that again turns it in his favor for the damage race. All you have to do now is just do more damage than Dash gives you back, which when he's blocked isn't too hard.
Yeah, there you go. So
There we
Seventh
go.
Sister has got out of any kind of shot coming in there.
Yeah,
So
I wasn't
the
quite sure how
only
far it
shot
would
Dash has
turn it.
got is the obstructed shot into Fifth Brother.
Oh boy, oh boy. I'm surprised. I'm surprised Fifth didn't take an evade there.
Yeah, he's
Took
gone
the
for the
lock for
target
later.
lock, and well, or potentially just say I'm going to fire the home missile at you this turn. Because he goes.
Nah, just
okay,
spend
it's
all the
obstructed.
force, don't take any damage.
Yep.
You can get that back later. You can't get
As
shields
I say,
back.
it's just saying, why take damage when you don't need to?
Yeah, exactly.
Again, he may choose to fire off one of the homing missile charges. 'cause
He's
got a
seriously
few.
considering it here. I mean, what he can do is, as long as Seventh Sister does a single shield. Oh no, he did spend it. Because if you take 2 shields on Fifth Brother there, then Seventh Sister basically just goes, cool. So I strip your shield, and would you like crits?
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, he doesn't need to crack shot. I
Which
feel like.
gives him half on dash now.
Do you think he fires the homing missile anyway here, and just
I
does
think I
another
would.
damage?
I think I would.
He's got
because
3 charges.
Yeah, I would.
you've got the 3 charges. You're either doing a damage,
Or you get
which
to roll
he just
4 dice.
says great, or he gets to roll 4 dice against 3 greens, but again with no mods.
Yeah. And you've just got to take a damage, right?
I think so. And as you say, you've got 3 charges. You just plink a damage through.
Yeah, for sure. Faux show.
Just let them know upon
Oh.
how much time we got.
Yep, will do.
I think we might have missed something because it looks like he must have already fired with Fifth Brother, and it looks like he just fired his primary.
You have 11 minutes remaining, guys.
And 2
11 plus
turns.
2.
Oh, no, he rolled crit focus. He decided to attack with a primary with Fifth Brother.
Yeah.
There we go. Sorry. No, actually reading the vassal chat. Important. All that.
Yeah, that's what I just went back and checked when they said it was back to dials. I'm like, I don't remember Fifth Brother and triggering, so obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it seems, to be fair, next turn as well, he rolls in, he takes a focus, and he's now got the perfect Fifth Brother machine, which is you already have the target lock, so you don't even need to spend the force.
Yep.
Say hi to Alec. Which Alec?
No. Just saying to GC to say hi to Alec. Alec is in the background.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Alec just bought
Shout out to-
burgers for Phil.
Shout out to Mr. Thorne, who is still an amazing person, even though we're not seeing him on a regular basis.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he is for sure, right?
Yeah. After he's been abandoned by Red Hawk, otherwise known as Watkins.
Wow.
All right. So, Dash, what are you going to do to win this game? The problem is that to win this game, Dash can't get blocked. So I think he has to turn to the right.
Yeah, I was thinking.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was
three
just about to say. I think he's got to do that hard turn to the right over the debris, because it's the only thing that he can't get blocked with.
Dylan is
in the
just
Discord.
sending SOS messages in Discord chat. He knows he's in trouble. Oh god, he went the wrong way again. So I'm definitely getting the impression that Dylan hasn't had the misfortune of playing against something like a Bump Master before. I think you can see him doing all of the good moves, but it doesn't matter if it's a good move. If it's anywhere near that little Inquisitor, it's getting blocked.
Yep,
Yeah.
it is
You
just
have to
blocked.
pull out the silly moves and get away from that little thing. Just
How that didn't bump there, I'm very
That,
surprised.
and I mean that fits lovely. And again, he'll be behind Dash.
Yeah.
Dash will have no shot, and he's
Yeah.
just got the target lock already with the focus token plus the 2/4s as the
Fifth.
range shot
It's
mechanic.
lovely flying by Phil.
3/4 boost. I mean, this is a clinic of how to, because this is the thing. Like we said at the start, the Rebel list does have an advantage here. Like if you allow the Rebel list to do its thing, it would tear through these Inquisitors because it just punches out so much damage.
Yeah.
What Phil has done really, really well is he's put on a blocking masterclass, but I think he's leveraged the strengths of his list. He understood what he needed to do to win, and he's executed it. And even though there was a couple of decisions that we might have said, oh, did you need to do that there?
Yeah.
It's allowed him to do that. And what he's
Yeah.
doing here is he's being sensible. He's keeping the Grand Inquisitor out of range. He doesn't need to get into range and risk
Yeah.
getting shot by Dash and losing points.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And this is it, right? If Dash had done the 2 hard the other way, right?
Hmm.
If he's done the 2 hard the next turn, yes, he is starting to fall into the trap to go back into that corner potentially, but there's no way he's going to get blocked. He's going to get those mods. He can try and push some damage
Yep.
through.
Absolutely, and he'd
Decent
do
chance.
some decent damage into Seventh Sister this turn.
Yeah.
But hey, it's a learning experience. I think as much as I mean to Phil, I mean, Mr. GC did get himself to the top cut of Worlds.
Yeah.
He
Top 64 at Worlds.
he's been
with-
in the England team for a couple of years for the XTC. He is a really good player, and just because he's flying nonsense every now and then, he's
You can't take it away from him.
he
if
is
you
still a
give
great
him
player.
small ship reposition, he's pretty good at this game.
I may have had a little bit of practice against Phil with Guri. A little bit.
Oh God, yeah.
Well, this is it, isn't it? Phil is one of our local players and stuff, and we get to play against Phil an awful lot. And Phil is a very good player. He does like his own type of lists that isn't perhaps the norm for
He's
everyone.
a
but
special
it
flower that
suits him.
refuses to fly meta.
Yeah, and I mean it suits him, and he does well with it.
Yeah,
I mean
he does.
he took a bunch of nonsense two-ship lists to various different hyperspace trials and just made cut after cut.
Yep. Absolutely.
So,
I mean, come on,
you
he
gotta
made
give
cut
him-
the hyperspace trial with Kylo and Quick Draw
Yeah.
in 2.0.
There was some shenanigans afoot for that one, but I was there.
To be fair, that was the cut that I made with when I came 11th, and I still made a top 8 cut.
That's what I'm saying. There was a couple of
Yeah.
drops.
Yep. Yeah.
I think there's only 2 got him into the cut, though. To be fair, there was only 2 of them
Yep.
ahead of him.
Yep, yep, yep.
But,
Right, so I feel like R.I.P. Dylan. We might be going to Dials, but your time is
Yeah.
not long for this world.
No, and again, Fifth Brother just went, okay, I'll just use a homing missile, and he goes, I'll just take 1 damage because I can't do anything else.
And do you know what's going to happen next turn? Fifth Brother's going to have both 4s.
And he'll just go, well, I'm going to choose to do this, and if you get just take the 1 damage, you die, so you can't just take the 1 damage.
I think
So
Dash
you're
should
going to
take
let me
an
roll 4 dice.
honourable hard 3 to the right, and
Yep.
hope to escape into hyperspace next round.
I found an
that is-
exit.
Yeah, hard 3,
Exit stage left.
hard 3, barrel roll, and run away.
Yes, unfortunately, next wing the hold on maneuver does not work.
Nope.
No. He's not a Morale Valley. He can't just run off the board and come back on either.
Clearly, Dash has
No, I
not joined
think,
the resistance.
No, not at all. I think this is it's regardless of whether or not it's been one-sided. I think this was still a good game. I think
yeah.
there was definitely the opportunity for both players to win, and it's really interesting to see
Why
how
is-
just a small mistake can cause such a
So
big
at some point,
butterfly
sorry,
effect.
Phyllis picked up a debris.
Jesus.
There's tiles. Sorry, I was confusing me. Sorry, Ollie, you were saying.
No, it's fine. Just like just how a small butterfly effect that happened on the 3rd turn of the game basically sealed the fate of the rebel list.
Yeah.
It's something to bear in mind that if, for those of you wondering, oh, why am I losing these games? Like, oh, the dice were bad, or like something else, like, oh, why did I lose this game? Stop doing that, Phil. It just triggered everything. Yeah, it could be the case that actually it's something you're doing right at the start of the game, and it's not something that you're doing at the end.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
it can
something
simple
that,
as turn 0.
Yeah, it's something I've spoken to both Nick and Don about, and Phil, and yourself, Ollie, and other people. Has taken a lot of time to learn more about Turn 0, to learn more about the rock placements, about the deployment, about strengths and weaknesses, about where not only your list wants to be, but where your opponent's list wants to be. How you can force them to do what you want them to do without them even knowing it. It's that level
Yeah.
of getting right down to that base level before you even played the game, before a single dice has been rolled, making sure those rocks and your ships are in the most optimal position.
Yeah, and what was really fun about doing that little video on Turn 0 was I realized a lot of the things that I was doing without thinking about it, and about how much of Turn 0 actually involves working out whether or not we're going to be the jouster or your opponent's going to be the jouster, or where do you want to engage, or what's the trick in your opponent's list. I think Turn 0 is so much about working out how you want to play the game. It's not just where you put the rocks. It's okay, how are we going to play this game? Am I going to be chasing you? Am I going to be driving straight at you? Am I going to be dodging you? Like, what do you want to do with that game? And if you make the wrong decision, well, you're hamstringing yourself going in, because you've just taken away one of the key ways of winning that game.
Yeah.
Can you share me the link of that video when it goes up, please? I'll stick it on our Facebook page.
I will do. I'm gonna get it at YouTube. You can have it now if you like. Shall I put it in the chat?
Yeah, you can put it in the chat. I'll stick it on the thing as well.
I will give you a link to the Twitch version.
Yeah, I mean, talking about that, those kind of like mistakes and stuff, we literally just saw of an example in the last game with myself versus Ben. So same sort of thing. Very early on, Ben's got a Punisher or a trajectory simulator, and he boosted left to go in because all my droids had hard wand turned away from him. He went, oh well, I'll boost in because I'm going to need that to chase you when you run away. And of course, by doing that boost, it just gave all my droids the option to just turn straight back in, pick on the Punisher with no threat from the bottom that turn.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's the Magpulse Warhead.
Well, that'll be it. So we lose one of those focus tokens.
Yep. He takes a deplete and he gets a
And
crit.
he takes a deplete. So Dash turns into a normal 3-dice
He
gun.
takes a crit though, which is the interesting part. So it's a direct hit. It kills him.
It does.
Yep.
Well, oh, is he?
He would still get to shoot. But
He
yeah.
would still get to shoot.
He would, but
But yeah, this is as much a defensive maneuver as a offensive maneuver from the
we
ground.
stabilise
No,
it.
least stabilizing. Well, that's it. It is in
He-
case
he
of,
is this.
I mean, yes. Holding maneuvers be damned.
Yeah.
To be fair, if he spends long enough on the combat phase, you can just go one forwards anyway, and you'll be fine.
I might as well.
And no, because he'll have 2 turns left, Ollie.
Exactly.
60 plus 2.
Yep.
I don't know. There's a lot of arguments on Super
Spends
Guri.
the fraud, spends
I
the
think
evade.
I think the arguments on Super Guri very much depends on the list that you're playing against. If you're playing Super Guri into aces, it does very much help you to have a bit more clutter on the board. I strongly believe that if you're playing Super Guri against Swarm, it's actually a lot better to have a very, very clear board.
Massively so.
If you're playing Super Guri against aces, then yes, make it a little bit more messy because she just pre-positions better than they do. But Swarm, you need as much space.
Here's a homing missile with 3 hits and 2 crits.
Oh dear. Well, to be fair to him, he let him roll it. Oh, network error from you guys. Stream's just gone down.
Not on my end. That'll be a refresh
Yeah,
this
we'll be
year.
alright.
Literally still streaming my end.
No. Yeah, no, it's your end, mate.
Just Twitch having a moment.
Twitch having a moment.
Took a direct hit and at least stabilizer there at the end to kill Dash.
I mean, crit chains be damned in this game, right?
And this is it, right? As Ollie was saying, this was it. This was the perfect showing of how to utilise blocking well against the kind of list that potentially has an advantage against you.
Gotcha. Oh, gotcha.
Right, I'm going to jump back
Sorry,
into
Kate just got home.
Discord with the guys. Still recording, so and everything my end says that the stream is running, so I'm not really sure what's going on.
It might just be me.
No, it's on my end as well.
No, it seems to be
I've
on
refreshed
Twitch
it.
itself. Seems to have
It is
lost
now running. This is
Very
yep.
strange.
It's now.
Yeah, it's all
stopped.
good.
I'm going to jump into Discord, so I don't know if you guys want to join us.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hello there.
Yeah.
There you go. So, that was an interesting game. It's really good. Bit of blocking went on, I feel.
That's the only way if I let them kite, I lose.
Yeah,
True.
we were talking about that in the game. We actually liked Dylan's chances better than your list going into the game, and we were saying that it's all going to depend on whether or not you can get that little Sensi Inquisitor stuck in and stopping them doing stuff.
Oh, I had to bring the audio up.
I had a question actually for you guys. Which one of you was it that put that rock in the top corner that Lando landed on? Ah.
Yeah, that was a misjudgment on my part.
No, I think it's. I'm just looking at asteroids because I feel like whenever you're flying the big ships, you kind of want them 3 and 3 as opposed to 2 and 2.
It just gives you that extra turning circle.
Gives you that little bit more space.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching the game though. It was really interesting to see. Like there was a glimmer of hope as Dash started getting fully operational behind things, and then Lando just went, "Oh God, oh God."
Yeah, and we were saying as well in the commentary that we think it was that turn where Lando did the one forward and put himself behind that rock to try and give Dash that barrel roll maneuver.
Mm.
If you'd too harded in with Lando at that point, you had the option to get behind all of them, and yeah, Dash was going to take some damage that turn, but it wasn't going to kill him. So then he could have come out the other side, and then you'd had both of them almost behind the Typhy ones being able to push the damage in.
Mm.
Honestly, that's what I was kind of expecting him to do. And then as soon as Ando went that way, I was like, ignore Dash.
Yeah.
Ignore Dash, burn the Falcon down because it's the action economy in the list.
Yeah, and he's stuck in that corner and can't really escape.
Dylan, what did you think of that game?
It's hard. I think the disparity in player skills showed through very, very significantly. I think that the fact that it was asteroids. I mean, I never bring asteroids with Dash for obvious reasons, but also it shuts down shooting with anybody. And the number of times I have tried this list and then gone for the corner and managed to get Lando around without bumping into a rock is just, there was just a misjudgment there. But yeah, with everything moving before I was moving and being as nimble as they are, just, one hard barrel roll or one hard boost, it could just be anywhere. And there was actually no viable place for Lando to get out of that.
And I was able to go, I can cover at least two of your options, still have at least a ship or two ships shooting you.
Yeah, and sense didn't help either.
Yeah, for those of you that have played against the original Bumpmaster before with the intelligence agent, this guy is almost as bad. That little Inquisitor he's horrid. No one should play him. He's bad.
He's 40 points or something ridiculous.
Burn the card.
Just dumb.
Yeah.
We do not endorse people using it.
I do.
My whole list is designed around moving second anyway.
Yeah.
In passive sensors and sense, it's like I don't care.
Yeah, you sit there and you go, cool, we're going to take our target locks. Please fly into our guns. I mean, I think Dylan is doing himself a disservice saying there was a massive disparity in player skill there. I think
I agree with you, Ollie.
He got caught out by the fact that it was that asteroid. I think if you'd have managed to put the debris clouds in the corners, you would have been absolutely fine.
Yeah, agreed.
It's been choice with some great games.
It did. I wouldn't say it threw me a bit, but it threw things off. Normally, I would have headed with the asteroids lined up on that one, the middle and the one side. Typically, I would have headed for the other side, but with the Inquisitors all lining up there and with the missiles they've got, I thought I don't want to just fly down his throat. And
that's why I went to the hard one and I went on for that angle because it's like, well, probably trying to sort of get round the corner. I was expecting you to split your ships up. In all fairness, because like the guys say, if one of them gets behind me, I'm just taking dice every turn.
I was wondering how much you were chasing the Lando trigger onto Dash.
Yeah, yeah. To activate Jin, you mean?
No,
to literally
allow
just
Lando
allow
to
the
boost him.
action.
Okay.
Or action Lando.
Yeah.
Dash, basically.
It's 50-50. I'm not too worried about that because if Lando can target lock focus or focus boost or something, then that's not the end of the world. The reason that I've got this list as it is primarily I've flown a lot of Dash and Dash dies super fast, and I've tried loads of things to try and keep him alive. I went with Lone Wolf for a while, which I did with this list, and actually sort of managed to 80% of the time move Lando into range, use the ability to give Dash an action, and then fly Dash out of range too, so that Lone Wolf still triggers.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I've found that Jin on Lando, giving, meaning that Dash can either have, focus evade or 2 evades if he's in real trouble, has actually kept him alive longer.
I really like the Jin recon spec combination. I think that's really strong.
Yeah, it's a decent combination for sure.
Cool.
What?
The Jin recon spec.
Yeah, super fun. I'll just be tanky this turn. I'll have double evade. Fine.
Yeah. Really, really.
And if he wants to, because you can then have Lando coordinating with target lock as well. So
Yeah.
you can have evade focus target lock on Dash.
Yeah, when it comes off, it's glorious. But being
It
blocked,
nearly came off without that, with just that shot on the Inquisitor. It was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Flipping Inquisitors though, I could just every time I play against them, I'm like, shooting at you, no, nothing gets through here. Shooting at you, no, nothing gets through here either.
Yeah, you need
And then you do
more than one.
Just dreading the double damage on that crit.
Yeah,
Like,
you,
oh.
you
guess
do
so.
need more than one shot.
Guess we'll have to read the blog to find out where the list came from, Phil.
Came from Rebels.
Is that literally what it is? You just went, these guys all fit in the Rebels. In the Rebels team.
They're all from Rebels.
Yeah.
They are indeed.
So it kind of ties in with like the David Fillion stuff. And it's themed because it's the Inquisition.
Wait, do you mean Dave Filoni?
Nobody
Ah,
expected that.
Yeah.
Whatever his name, David Filoni.
Dave Filoni. Yeah.
But all the letters in there, just in the right or wrong order.
I really enjoyed the Grand Inquisitor in Firefly. I thought it was great.
That's Nathan Fillion.
I know. You said David Fillion.
I'm just mixing up 2 TV programs I really like. Okay, leave me alone.
I mean, you've read your blog, right?
It's wrong.
Oh god, it is.
So when did the blogs come out? Now, Phil, you usually Tuesday, is that right?
We're both going out on Tuesday. We're waiting for you to send us a link to the thing, and then we're going to both post on Tuesday.
I will be uploading the YouTube videos on the YouTube video of this game on Monday. That is the plan.
Monday. Get to watch it back and do some writing.
Sounds good.
I'm not sure.
Awesome.
I might need some support to watch that back.
It was I think actually it was a really interesting game to watch and cast. A lot of games that you watch and cast, say for example, if it was a cake stomp, this wasn't a cake stomp. It looked really one-sided, but it was really
I
interesting.
had to work for it. I had to commit 4 ships every turn to do what I needed to do.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see there was always a possibility for the Rebels until like that last couple of turns. There was always a possibility for the Rebels to bring it back. So it was, as a cast, it was really fun to see like, okay, what are the decisions here? How could we get out of it? And I think like it was really cool to see Dylan like trying his best to get out of it, but just I feel like not having as much experience playing against that little sense monkey meant that you almost didn't have the tools to get yourself away from it. And I think next time, that if you played that game next time, I think Phil would be screwed. Honestly, because I think learning from the first time round, he'd just get broadsided.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's it from us for the
you can
evening. I am going to end the stream now because we're going to go on quite a bit, I think. So I'm going to say thank you very much to everyone for watching. Thank you for all subscriptions. That's a word. The likes and subscribes, and I'll pop this up on YouTube on Monday. But keep an eye out. It is on Recline Twitch if you do want to watch it back. So I hope you enjoy it. Take care and have a good night.
What's the final score? We need to put it into the Vagabond.
So the final